Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Ethereum has now retraced to that trend line on the daily chart that I mentioned to you already a few days ago. It's just an additional parameter to watch. The trend line that broke a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago on the Bitcoin chart, that was a solid signal for maybe short traders. I mentioned it at the time, not this one, it was this one here, yeah. We had a break of this trend line. These can be signals for breakout traders, especially because the price was still adhering to the descending trend line. So there was another trend line that indicated the trend was down. Okay, so I just mentioned it. We've got a similar situation on the ETH chart, which is not Elliott wave related, but these are additional parameters. Okay, so just want to show you that on the daily time frame. It is still possible that a fourth wave bottomed here on the 13th of April. We're now in micro support, and we're going to talk about that on the smaller time frame. However, a break of micro support would require a reinterpretation of the chart, but it doesn't make a difference in the short term because I mentioned to you yesterday we're still watching for lower, and I think it should get 5 waves down, and it is still probably in the third wave down here, yeah, on the yellow count or here on this microstructure. So let's talk about this. The overall idea is still that we might be in this diagonal pattern to the upside. I have to say, with this drop today, because the price broke below 3,330, where the price was ideally holding for this scenario, and we still don't have the 4-5 pattern. I assume later today I will change the structure, okay? Just because this would be too low for a reliable wave 4 here, in a still unfolding diagonal in which we are working on a 5-wave pattern. So that would have meant that, or would mean that Ether has failed to form a 5-wave move up. Okay. What does that mean? Well, that means that we're either still in the larger fourth wave, so it never finished on the 13th of April. Then we could retest the area of the May and April lows around 2,800. Yeah. Or we might be working, well, yeah, on a fourth wave, but actually in a triangle pattern or so. So there are a few things to consider here, but I want to see more price data before I make that decision. In the short term, it doesn't make a difference anyway, because in the micro, I was already counting this as an A wave down, B wave up, with a C wave down that ideally gets 5 waves. So I think best to take an approach in which we say, okay, we're focusing on lower against micro resistance in this unfolding impulse to the downside until it's clear if this is a fourth wave in a diagonal or we're working on a triangle. Yeah, and I will make that adjustment later today. Yeah, if you want to be updated, feel free to check out our gold membership in which I update Ethereum also several times a day, especially when things are happening. I mean, most recently, really nothing happened, but now we get a bit of action. So then you get updates straight away, and you get access to the live chart as well to see if I make changes. Here, however, at the moment, the idea would be that this is likely still a third wave. Now, we're still holding support, okay? So it's very important. This was a, you could say, well, very, very aggressive candle. It's important to understand when the microstructure is likely changing or when that fourth wave is starting. I mean, this is now low enough for a third, okay? Remember, I think I took it off the chart, but remember I gave you a target zone for this third wave, and I mentioned to you it might go lower, but we wanted to get into the region between around about 3,300 to 3,370. We are there now, okay? So this was my target area for the third wave. Well, it was reached. Price did go a little lower, and that's fine. You know, it's since then it's sort of consolidating in that, you could say, target area. Now, with the latest price data we have, I can add a micro resistance area, which is for the fourth wave. So if we now see consolidation, this should be the fourth wave, and this is the resistance area. What purpose does it have? Well, it means that against this resistance area, which is, okay, now between 3,308 and 3,389, the focus can be on lower, or at least the downside pressure is high. Now we are actually, in addition, quite deep in support. So we have reached trendline support, and we are very deep in the Fibonacci support area. And the third wave was really the, let's say, the main element of the trend. We might get another 4-5 pattern. That's assumed as long as we hold below resistance. The third could still extend as well. So I have not really enough evidence at this stage while recording this video that the fourth has really started. So I keep you updated. Next support is, naturally, you can see it here on the chart, at 3,208 USD. Anything below that, well, we then have nothing until we approach here 2,900, basically, at least from a Fibonacci point of view. Well, there will be micro resistance targets. I mean, if this really is an A wave down, B wave up, then the 100% extension could be observed. So these are just additional levels to watch. Pay attention to these. I'm not entirely sure about the micro, but certainly the 3,126 level could be important because it is just an ideal target for the C wave. Now you see that it's below support, which is why I said we might need to change the overall assumption, but it doesn't have a practical impact right now because I want to see how the price reacts to these pivots before making a decision here. That's the update about Ethereum. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.